Hello there, day 192, 365 days towards racial change. My name is Tomlins Nyback, and we're here talking about black issues in America, how we overcome, what we do, how we progress or not. So, what we got here is, let me give you a personal update. I'm having some issues at my workplace where it concerns wearing a seatbelt while operating a vehicle out in this parking lot. That's a big part of my responsibilities. And so they made issue of me not wearing one. It's unnecessary. It's redundant, unnecessary. It's stupid. It's micromanaging stuff, and they've got insurance issues and things like that. I really don't care about that. I've not worn the seatbelt in this vehicle. When I started, I was told and all this stuff, but I'm defying it. And of course, I won't win because that's their policy. I'm not afraid of losing my job because it's not a issue or situation where I'd lose my job. They would have me stop probably driving if I refuse to do it, wear the seatbelt, but that doesn't matter to me either. The point is like, uh, I'm having this opportunity to soberly and calmly push back against the system in this little way, and so I'm going to see how this comes about, how it unfolds here. I've been talking about this stuff, coming up on 200 days. Subtlety of my color, um, my age is in the play. A lot of stuff, and in the past I've always passively went along. Oh, now I'll engage and participate. But it's like people. I have been wearing this seatbelt for 6, 7 months now, and all of a sudden somebody up on corporate, the echelon over the internet. It's not even anybody in a physical space. My location. It's all done remotely. I'm on camera. I know it. I don't care and whatnot. And they're making issue of it. So I'm like, you know what? I can make it my little issue too. And on the issue of the seatbelt, there's a little piece missing, right? It's almost unnecessary, but it's a piece of safety device on the safety device. It's missing or not functioning. They need to fix it. If they don't fix it, then there's going to be issues and problems. So we're going to see who wins, who gets it. Now, my first step is to go to management and let them know my feelings, thoughts, and issues on this matter. Articulating that, feeling the empowerment to um, say something and stuff. I'm very new at navigating this kind of thing, are very inexperienced, should say. I've usually just blown up and walked out, but I can't keep running from place to place because no place uh, houses what I want, what I'm after uh, in my life. So I got to push back, let people know. This is a part of the conditioning of black people in America. We lack, how can I say it? We lack the understanding of how to engage power, how to use power, how to validate our space in America, and we need to really get better with moving in that. Like I said, growing up, well, what did the parents, the black parents nurturing in my day do when there something was disagreeable or not to the liking of, I'm talking black power in the family unit. Well, the problem, they'd say, go outside, go away. I remember when my parents divorced, and the issue came to me going to church. And I was a teenager, and the church, I didn't like going to church and stuff like that. It was just a superfluous activity. I have a different relationship with God and church. I don't go to church today, but we're going to do some church religious segments in the future. But the point is, it's like, stop dragging me to church. I'm disillusioned by, and came to a head between my mother and myself. And I was like, stop taking me there. My world is blown apart, disillusioned. Father's not around. I'm seeing behaviors from mom and dad that are very despicable, disgusting. There are words coming out of their mouths about each other, and everybody's angry and hurt, all this stuff. And this place of God and worship and joy, I'm just not having that experience. And it's really, the space really got exposed, uh, for its lack of power, for its place in the dysfunction that was occurring in my life. So I just put my foot down. What was mom's reaction? Go away, get out of the house, go live with your father. That's I think blacks, we suffer from that. That comes from slavery days. In the white home, at least you get a sense that you got a fighting chance to be heard, and that the power that is in place is going to give you an earful, hear your issues, you know. Uh, but on the plantation for black folks, that you are always conforming, you're always passive, you're always in agreement with power, or you find yourself out. And I've come against this a lot of times, but I've always been the one escaping and leaving. But this time, I'm owning some stuff here. We want to see how this comes out in the video series. I'm not in danger of being fired. They're just going to shuffle the position if we don't come to agreement. That's how we're going to work it. Or then I'm going to take other recourse. You know. So it's not about losing the job. It's just doing something else. They work me so hard. There's nothing harder that they can do to me in in that space. I'm not worried about that. If you understand what I'm saying. So here we go. Coming with this information. Race is a part of it. Age is a part of it, and stuff. This is a position I had to be drug tested for. I need a driver's license for. So there's some qualifications. But my pay didn't change. So it's like, you know what, people, my pay is the same whether I'm sweeping the floors in the shop or driving sophisticated equipment doing a skilled kind of labor. So we're going to see how that comes out. I'll keep you posted. On that note, the mind of black folks. How do we articulate when we come and process when we come to hit these barriers? I know the way I've hit them in the past hasn't worked. The universe always kind of brings me through to something else or something better. But life isn't, you're not living life if you're always running from challenging situations to the next thing. We're talking about leadership. A leader doesn't do that. The leader's going to find a creative way to master the situation, to bring it favorable to their experience. So here, this is a leadership exercise too. I've got to, um, come with some feelings of disagreement with guys I kind of like. Although I'm not feeling their competency in that space that lately, especially with me applying for a position, being refused twice when I'm overly qualified. You know, when I see new people come in, and they try to assuage my irritation with their decision not to advance me, but it's crap. I try to say, not curse too much, keep this child friendly as possible, but it's crap. You know, I'm obviously better qualified. I'm overqualified is the problem. You know, but I see who they pick, white and younger. It's obvious they didn't pick black and older, right? So I can't make a big stink about that because I can't put it on that. But what's the black mind? How do we process when we're seeing this all go on? You know, they get billions of dollars instantly for this tragedy at the border. You know, all these things happen so quickly for everybody but black folks. And I can't convince the majority of black folks. I'm sure Dr. Anderson must feel this as well, to get black people to understand this argument. It's very simple. I live it. I'm inside of it. I'm uh, where it forms and is created. you know, that's the problem. Now the white mind, privilege and status. Now I will say, they did this as far as work goes. They did the kind of the safety sweep across. This is a huge company I work for, spans continents and countries and things like that. So it was a big sweep. They decided to get up in the middle of July, and now like things have slowed down a little bit. See, this wouldn't happen during rush, during the holidays. That this thing cast off all of that. You'll see in the description there in the notes I put. It's like driving down the interstate. Everybody's doing 10, 15 miles over the speed limit. It's a big open road. Yeah. And the risk is exponential. Yeah, people get killed out there. But the point is, people are zooming, and you're wondering why the cop pulled you over. Everybody is doing. People are passing you, but the cop pulls you over. That's the argument I'm making about this. So how white privilege can just raise its head every once in a while. And today we're going to look at safety. Like, if it's so important, if it's such an issue of safety, you need to be concerned about this and consistent every day. Law enforcement, safety and compliance issues is crap. When you serve the corporation, it's no problem. When you serve yourself, um, and it's outside of the will of the corporation, then you suddenly have issues. I don't like that. That really grates on me, and I'm not putting up with it. So I'm going to keep you tuned. Also concerned with financial literacy. Part of this issue, how this kind of dovetails this issue at work. I'm not financially afraid anymore. I'm going to make it somehow, some way. I got a lot of advocates, a lot of people in my corner and in my space that are supportive of me. I've been on the plan a few decades, had my ups and downs, but the fear is extracted. Financial fear is extracted. There's concerns. I gotta get up for work. I don't have a free ride, but somebody will pay me to labor their stuff. I'm going to move into more issues and areas that are going to call for more use of my mind, but that's the issue. That's what's going on in my life. So that's what's happening. That's what is the latest in my life. Financial literacy. This is part of my standard introduction and all that. The courage, my change of mindset, is inspired by a man named Dr. Claude Anderson. Please get his books. A Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask, Black Labor, White Wealth, Search for Power and Economic Justice, and Dr. Anderson's National Plan to Empower Black America, Powernomics. You find Dr. Anderson at powernomics.com. Behind me, you'll see the hashtag #US2 symbol. We find Black women conversating and all this stuff, Facebook, and supporting themselves over their issues, a kind of response to overwhelming uh, attention made to the hashtag #MeToo movement, which is primarily white women. All these groups, of course, say they're open, uh, very inclusive and all that. If you can't find your flavor here, this is the internet. Do what I did. Start your own voice, your own community. I got a handful of private email subscribers, and we just grow about one every month or two. I get to add a new one to the list. And finally, we have story time. Uncle Tom's Cabin. It's my favorite part, uh, but it's a fictional life of slavery, but it brings up a lot of talking points, a lot of points of conversations that dovetails a lot with Dr. Anderson's work, current events, and things like that. So I think it's an important piece. We're going to dive into it heavily after our leadership series concludes in another couple days. Excuse me. Okay. We are leadership recommendations. Of course, we talked about analysis, Dr. Anderson's concerns, slipped in a few of my own points. Now we're talking about the recommendations that Dr. Anderson has. This is from Black Labor and White Wealth, Search for Power and Economic Justice. And the second point is, first point was the leaders are going to have to find a unifying goal. That's kind of a no-brainer. Try to get the community focused on one goal. Everybody's going to have different parts, different functions within the body. If you're familiar with, if you have, any organization, it's a body that's working together for a common good. That was recommendation one. Today is a leadership institute. Now, when I say leadership institute, I'm not talking about a Facebook page where people come to and stuff. No, we need boots on the ground, physical. I don't care if it's somebody's closet. I'm talking about it's a place where we get mail. There may be a staff or not, and all that. Now we already have actually a lot of that. Now, Dr. Anderson, I think by now, excuse me, he has a physical space, and you think about like Nation of Islam, churches, and any black group in the past has had a physical space. I'm annoyed with we have this Facebook page and people thinking that that is uh, a powerful entity, and it kind of is, right? It's a place, you know, we can communicate and all that. But no, we need a physical space. Now, I'm talking the reason for a physical space that I'm advocating here, and this is not Dr. Anderson's focus on this point of a Black Leadership Institute. But my point on having a physical space is because blacks do not have land ownership in America. The people in power do. Land ownership means power. Land ownership means control, autonomous control over a space. From there, we can grow. That's very important for a leadership institute. You know, just got an email from one of my instructors. I'm going back to school, and they want to have kind of a hybrid class where you're going to be online, and we'll show it physically occasionally and stuff. And I don't want that. I want to have physical space, face to face contact. I don't get it. So, but that's what our Black Leadership Institute needs to be. If it's going to be really potent and effective, just a physical space. We have museums, we have the White House. Um, you know, I go to work. I don't. The work I do is not online. It's physical work. You need a space in which to do that. So that's going to be important for uh, making life better for Black folks is to have a physical space. It could be in response to all the stuff stolen from us in the way our communities were sacked and all that. They didn't. Did we recover that space? No, we were just killed and bombed and burned out of that space. You know, that's not appropriate. So land ownership is going to be a part. Now, what occurs in that space, here are Dr. Anderson's points, is that, it'll be an intellectual think tank, brainstorm solutions and issues. I would hope that it wouldn't be always reacting to how power is moving in America. Well, I would hopefully it would be an innovative space where totally new ideas, where we come up with our own agenda, something that's not on the floor of the House or the Senate, something that's not uh, making its way through Congress at a snail's pace, where it doesn't. We don't hear yay or nay until 2 or 3 generations down the road, and where it can be put off, and we need all kinds of uh, legal energy to forward that agenda. No, we want to get outside of that. See, here's what's happening. Look, think of it like a spearhead, right? Here's white power at the pinnacle, right? And it's moving forward, and black folks are just in the wake. We're just in the wake of that. Oh, they did this, so we got to do, and we're always in the wake of uh, what white power is forwarding and moving and producing in America, and that's just unacceptable. We need to get outside of that. You know, we don't care where they're going. Yeah, it impacts our lives, and they're throwing um, uh, their awful on us as they move forward. It's something I'm a race car fan, and something you hear in racing circles is clean air. You know, clean air makes the engine run more efficiently, and it means as those cars are going around that oval, they are the guys up front, men and women up front, getting that clean air and running more efficiently, and it's going to help them win the race. There's a lot more in that goes into winning, but that's a good start. Clean air, you know, and the guy in the back is getting all the dirty, all the exhaust debris is going on, and so their carburetor and filtering systems have to work extra hard uh, to get better air into the engine because they're at the back of the pack. You know, that's the same way. I remember I was at an amusement park and I decided to ride in the last car of the train. Well, anybody who rides in the last car has to know that's the worst place you want to sit because when you get on that, when you go down that first drop and all those people in front of you start screaming and hollering, I got nothing but spit, hair, all up in my face. And so black people, we need to get outside of this. Or we just gonna keep getting spit and hair. Everybody's up front, got their mouth wide open, hair flying off, shedding like dogs in summer, and it just you know, that's black people need to get out from it. Or a Black Leadership Institute is got to be something that's like, look, what's new? What can we do brand new uh, to get black people rolling in this thing? Uh, you know, there, and it's important as well because if you remember our series about the founding fathers, a lot of these guys they educated each other. The age difference was enough where some of these college professors had educated some of these students. Some of our big names, I think Thomas Jefferson and some of his guys his age were educated by some of the older um, statesmen, but they were part of the community forming a nation. They were educated that those, enough of them were educated in England, so they were like-minded in that way. This leadership institute is going to be the same way um, with black women, men and women knowing and understanding each other and uh, maybe educating each other in the same way that the founding fathers did it years ago. So the foundation is going to provide proactive research, help black folks to get some black achievement going consistently outside of entertainment. We black folks, we're better than entertainers. We can do more than entertain the world and not be paid appropriately for it. And it's going to be exclusive for blacks. We could talk about that. People don't understand, oh, why you want to be exclusive and all this stuff. Blacks need to be exclusive, get their own thing going. All the other groups do and have it. Only those groups complain when blacks say they want to be exclusive. And then blacks, once they get feedback and pushback, will go back into our hole and say, oh, we want to be part of the community. No, no. Being a strong individual is being a part of the community. You come in with your full gifts and talents, undiluted, um, being confident in who you are. That's actually a level of humility, and then you participate. You don't live in the wake of everybody else being successful, whites, Hispanics, Arabs, uh, the Asians. Everybody's got their success right on track, right on train. are eye to eye with power being respected. Everybody except black people. So yeah, it's going to be exclusive. And we're going to have economic, social, educational solutions happening within this space. Um, so that's point number two, Dr. Anderson's leadership recommendations. Stick around. We got a couple more to go. Then we'll get into some story time. I'm out of time. I'm Thomas Nyback, day 192 out of the way. Thanks for hanging out with me. Subscribe, if you will, if you're interested. I love new faces, any interaction. If I don't get back to you, is because there's some technological issues with servers and things like that. But I foresee a time when I'm going to get back. I see conversations and comments. I can't get to them just yet, but I promise you I'm going to make an aggressive effort to catch up after some things transpire. You'll understand if you hang out, if you continue to hang out with me, you'll understand that. So I got to go. Come back tomorrow. Let's talk about our public policy, focus in a little more on what this leader and the leadership needs to do to be effective and successful. See you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye bye.